able to see both of us. So, let's see. Oh, thanks. Okay, but how am I supposed to? I don't know if I can get us both in here at the same time. I don't think I can. That's gonna be a problem. Now they tell me I'm live. Like, I don't know that I'm live. I know I'm live. Hi guys. Nobody's here yet, but you know, want to say hello in the first couple minutes. I want them to be able to see both of us, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull that off. But so I decided that while I go live on YouTube, that I would do story times, because otherwise it's gonna be boring. Well, I mean, people say it's not boring sitting here watching me work, but I mean, I feel like silent videos are not gonna get a lot of views. And so I have so many crazy things that have happened to me while working in a salon or just doing hair in general, because I'm gonna start with a story that happened before I ever started working in a salon. My first story time is gonna be from when I was about 12. But I decided that I'm just going to do story times about some of the crazy stuff that's happened in the salon while I work and go live, because that way it won't be boring and it won't be, you know, you won't be sitting and watching me and my customer have a conversation, because that might not go well. And they won't have to sit and listen to me talk about hair because they've heard it enough. And so we'll all have exciting new stories to hear that are sometimes entertaining. So today I just wanted to reminisce a little bit about the beginning of my hair journey of working with hair, period. I always kind of had a lot of hair. That's why I like it short now. But when I was younger, I tried every style imaginable on my head. Anything that was new that came out, I wanted to try it. I was always doing hair from a very young age. I knew how to braid when I was 7. I was doing my sister's hair in the bathroom at school every morning, because my grandma would give her pigtails and she hated pigtails. And so she would have me fix it in the morning at school before we went to breakfast, so that nobody had to see her with those pigtails in. And that was funny. But whenever I would get in trouble at home, I lived with my grandmother, so I guess I should say that. I lived with my grandmother, and whenever I would get in trouble and she would be upset with me, she would send me to my mother's house, which was not the greatest place for a little girl to be, but that's where she sent me to. And it was in the projects. And you know how kids be in the projects. Them kids be running around the projects looking all kind of crazy about the head. Now, when I first would go over there, I was, you know, younger. I didn't do anything over there. But when I started getting older, she used to put me outside. My mom would put me outside and make me just kind of, she wanted me to go, I guess, play with other kids, but I wasn't that kid. I was the kid that was reading, or, you know, quiet, doing some kind of quiet activity indoors. I was not a play outside, climb trees, go find friends kind of kid. I stayed to myself. And so she would make me go outside, so I would just sit on the stoop, you know. So apparently my godmom, who also lived with my mother in the house that was not a suitable place for kids to be, she used to, I guess, give suckers to the neighborhood kids. And so one day a little girl came up to the stoop and she was like, "Can I have a sucker?" And I didn't know what she was talking about. So I went in and was like, "Mom, this little girl's asking for a sucker." And so she was like, "Ask Tootie," that's my godmom's name. So I went and I was like, "Tootie, this little girl's out here asking for a sucker. And she's like, oh yeah, I give the little kids suckers sometimes when they come by and say hi. I'm like, okay. She's like, here, give her this sucker. And so I went to give her the sucker. And so she was just sitting there eating her sucker. And listen, her hair was matted all over her head, okay? It looked like nobody had done her hair. Like, it didn't even have like an old style in it that looked like some braids that had gotten messy, or like twists that had fallen out. No rubber bands, no barrettes, there was nothing. It was just matted to her hair, sticking up on one side, just all over her head. And so my mom had just had me just sitting outside. I didn't have anything to do. So I asked her if I could come in and do the little girl's hair. And she said yes. And so I had put her head in the sink and washed her hair. And that's when I found out that she had like sores all over her head. And it was just from like, I guess it's just from neglect. Like nobody had combed it or anything. And her scalp had just built up dead skin cells from just not being washed. And it was, I went ahead and washed it and blow dried it, and then I just kind of like scraped up the dry scalp around the scabs and kind of did like a cute little French braid style around it, and she was so happy. And I gave her another sucker. Oh, I'm trying to stand up. And that was when I actually, after seeing that little girl's face, after she got her hair done, I don't know if she never had her hair done before, but because she was so happy. And after that, she just started coming over every so often, asking for me to do her hair. And we ended up healing whatever was going on her scalp. But then of course, I ended up, I only saw her whenever I would get in trouble. So I only went to my mom's house. I didn't go to my mom's house to visit often, which, as a child, I didn't even realize, but that's kind of crazy. But whenever I would get in trouble, that's when I had to go over there. And that's when I would see the little girl and get her hair right. Fortunately, I was in trouble probably a lot, apparently, but I used to talk back a lot. But that's because, the grown folks, I really felt like they didn't know what they was talking about. But I really thought that I should probably do more, hair for the little girls around the projects. It probably would have been good, but I only ever really got to meet that one little girl, so. But we got them scabs out though. And I don't know what her parent situation was, but she was too young to be just coming over people's houses and staying long enough to get their hair done and stuff. I don't know if that little girl remembers me, but if she ever happens to see this, I hope she would say something, because I don't know what happened with her or what was going on in her life at all. I just know that when I saw her, I did her hair, put in some cute little braids, put some beads on it. I always had all of that stuff because I used to do all that stuff to my hair. Can you see these ropes? So yeah, that's my first story time. It's about, I think that's when I really realized like how big of a deal it was that I was talented at doing hair and that I had that skill, because that was long before hair school, and I had always done, I helped my grandmother. My grandmother did hair professionally, I think for 40 years, but by the time I was, she was raising me, she was retired, but she still did everybody's hair in the family, like pressing curls on Saturday before church on Sunday, especially around the holidays like Christmas and Easter and all that. There was like a lot of pressing and curling going on Saturdays before the holidays. But besides that, when she started to see that I had some talent in the area, then she started having me help her, whether it be shampooing people or blow drying people or just helping her along with her process so she could just focus on the pressing and the curling. And I didn't realize how big it was, like how important hair was at that time. I think that in that time with that little girl really helped me to see like what an impact like hair could have on somebody. And baby, don't I know it now, because when I can't do somebody hair, they be mad. They be so mad at me. Like, people are mad at me to this day because I moved out of town. I moved out of town from Nebraska to Georgia, and they hate me up there. And I'm sorry. I wish I could do everybody, but I can't. But yeah, that's my story time for this one. It's my first one. It's a little unorganized, but y'all get the idea. Let's go down to his hair. We're almost done. Somebody outside loud. I wonder whatever did happen to that little girl. Because if I would have been living with my mom in the projects at that time, and I'm definitely not saying that I wish that I would have been living in the projects with my mom at the time, but if I would have been living with my mom in the projects at that time, I probably would have had that little girl's hair growing down her back. Because that's what I really do. I like to grow the hair down your back and then cut it so I can watch it grow back down your back again. It's like my favorite thing to do. Grow it and cut it and grow it again. Don't you worry. I'm just gonna change this a little bit because these are not in the right place. So I'm gonna just take those and put that up there and put that with this one. And you don't have to worry about anything because all you have to do is just stay right where you are. Yeah, that's way better. I don't know what I was thinking. What I was thinking about. That's way better. Thank you. I thought you were asleep for real. It's like you went to sleep on me.
Because you weren't talking to me. I was listening.
I mean, I was talking to you.
You were talking to me?
I was talking to both of y'all. I was talking to you and whoever happens to hit the button and watch me.
See, I thought you were talking to the live.
I was talking to both of y'all.
See, if I didn't know that, I would have like engaged more.
Well, I'm gonna do another one next time you're here. I got way more juicy stuff to talk about. I had to start out slow since I don't got a lot of viewers yet. But y'all go get your friends and get them on my lives, and then I'm gonna tell the juicy stories that I got, like the one about the dude that pooped on the floor, the one about the lady that started throwing my clips everywhere, the one about the freaking one of the trainees, the apprentices that I was training, started stealing clients and offering to do their hair for free. I got lots of stories. So meet me back here on the next one so you can hear all the juicy details. This was just my beginner story time, just so I can get, I really need to get in the habit of getting on camera. And I also need to get it so that they can see me and you at the same time. but I don't know how to do that yet. So we'll get there. We'll get there, and hopefully as you know, our skills grow, our channel grows, you know what I'm saying, and we can move up in the world. All right.
Let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look up some stuff too.
Let me know, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. You be watching YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't be on the rest of the socials, but
I do be on YouTube.
YouTube got all the business, so I just feel like I built up, you know, my Instagram and stuff, but Instagram and that stuff is really to you know, build this business so that there's customers, you know, that come through the doors to get their hair done, so that me and, you know, all the rest of these girls can eat. But the YouTube I'm making because YouTube just got so much bad information for hair out there. Oh, that's fancy. YouTube got so much bad information for hair that it was just like, if I don't do it, they might not get it. It might not ever exist. Somebody, what does this say? It's A and B Mations information. Yeah, somebody asked a question. It says, what's the best hair growth oil to help grow dreads? I'll show you my wall where it says no oil in the boldest print that I could possibly find, because dreads grow, hair grows in general, hair grows. It doesn't need anything, and certainly there is no oil that can grow your hair. I mean, I guess the best oil for your hair is the oil that your scalp makes, because it makes its own oil. And really, if you leave that oil on your scalp for too long without washing it off, it can get itchy on its own. So adding oil to that kind of just makes it worse, really, especially since you've got dead skin cells coming out, and then you've got sweat also. So you got oil, dead skin cells, and sweat coming out of your scalp. You don't want to really add anything to that. When your hair is clean, you really want to use something light to twist it with, and then just leave it. You know, when it gets to itching, it's not dry. It was already dry before it started itching. It's dirty. So when it's itchy, it's time to wash it. Either wash it or take a damp washcloth. Let me get this towel here. Take a damp cloth and go along the parts and clean your scalp off, because there's something there that wants to come off. But adding oil is not going to grow your hair. It's not going to do anything for your hair. My clients that get the healthiest growth and the healthiest, that have the healthiest, strongest locks, they don't use no oil. So, like it says on the wall, no oil. Moisture, if you need moisture, comes from water. But there is nothing you can put on your hair to make it grow. Hair grows, and it really does that. Usually the only problem with getting to actually see the growth that you have is because it's breaking. So you just want to avoid breakage. If you want to see growth, you have to avoid breakage, which is why I love locks, because they don't, you know, as long as you do them right, they don't have breakage. They just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Is that one out of your face good too?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. We did that. All right, so we're on the last one. Everything looks good. Pretty symmetrical.
You still on?
Yeah, I'm still. You can say whatever you want though. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna say nothing. We on
That Tiffany the truth.
Yeah, they don't even know my name. We locked in. Locked in. We locked in right now, because you're gonna have to hit the lock if you want to get out. Pretty soon my little wheelchair not gonna be over there. I'm almost done with that thing. Yeah, it helped me move fast. Look at old rubber bands. You tried.
This was cool, man.
Yep, so we're gonna go ahead, and we're almost to the 20-minute mark. I just need to have a good, you know, last. They wanna see how beautiful your hair looks real quick. And yeah, you guys like that? All right, so subscribe and come check me out on the next one. Bye.